Hello there, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will talk about the Philippine Airlines flight schedules, international flight schedules for the month of March and beyond. So, Philippine Airlines posted this just last night. All right, so let's start with their flights to and from the United States of America. So we have Manila to Los Angeles to Manila, that's 5 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Sunday. Next up, we have Manila to San Francisco and then San Francisco to Manila 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, or Saturday. Then Manila to New York just once a week every Friday. Then New York to Manila once a week every Saturday. We also have Manila to Honolulu, Honolulu to Manila, that's 2 times a week on Tuesday or Friday, except on March 2 and March 9. So for these 2 dates, they don't operate. Then we have Manila to Guam, that's 2 times a week, every Thursday or Sunday, except on March 4. So don't book on March 4, they don't have it. Next up, we have Guam to Manila 2 times a week, every Friday and Monday, except on March 5. Right, so before we proceed to other routes, let's go check some prices. Okay, let's check some prices for USA. So let's go to PhilippineAirlines.com. There we go. Look at that. Domestic fares promo, 80 pesos. Amazing. All right. So Manila, let's do Los Angeles to Manila, March. Let's do March 17. And then return March 17, return next month. So now I will be giving, let's say you're staying there for a month. Okay, so let's do April 17. So they don't have our March 17. So Los Angeles to Manila, let's pick this one, March 19, because it's it's cheaper, 517.20 US dollars. And then coming back, Manila to Los Angeles. Oh wow, what a big difference. Going back to America is much cheaper than flying to the Philippines. All right. Cheapest we can find here is, let's go to April 19. So let's see how much is the total. All right, so this is for 1 month stay in the Philippines. So you leave Los Angeles on April 9, or you leave Los Angeles on March 19, and then you come back April 19. So that's exactly 1 month stay there. For that price in Philippine Airlines, the total, including taxes and fees and charges, is 865.55 US dollars. Okay, now let's try San Francisco. San Francisco to Manila. And let's do March a bit earlier. So let's do March 10. And then come back April 10. So remember that for flights to USA, coming back to the USA, you'll need a negative COVID result. All right, here we go. San Francisco to Manila on March 10 is 800.20 US dollars. The economy price, economy value. And then going back, Manila to San Francisco on, April 9, April 10, the same prices, 430.35 US dollars. We're gonna pick this one, April 10, 430.35. So how much is the total? All right, so for San Francisco to Manila, Manila to San Francisco for 1 month stay in the Philippines, you leave on March 10 and then you come back to the USA on April 10. The total price with fees and charges already included is 1,232.55 US dollars. Now let's do New York, New York, New York to Manila. And they only fly once a week. I think that was Friday. So let's do March 12 and then come back April 12. All right, so they don't have the earliest we can get is March 13 for 877.20 US dollars, New York to Manila. And then April 12 coming back, so Manila to New York. Cheapest here is 495.35 US dollars. So if we take this flight, New York to Manila, Manila to New York, March 13, and then come back April 12, the total would be 1,372.55 US dollars. Okay, for last one for USA, let's do Honolulu. Honolulu to Manila. And let's try March 11 and then come back April 11. All right, so they don't have that date, but they do have Honolulu to Manila on March 12 for 487.20 US dollars. And then April 11 coming back to Hawaii. The cheapest, our selected date is a bit cheaper, a bit more expensive. So let's go to the cheaper one, April 9. So April 9, Manila to Honolulu is 420.35 US dollars. So if we take this flight, Honolulu to Manila, you leave on March 12 and then you come back to Hawaii, Manila to Honolulu on April 9. The total is 907.55 US dollars. Now, let's go to the North America. First up, we have Manila to Toronto. That's once a week, every Wednesday. Toronto to Manila once a week, the next day after, Thursday. And then Manila to Vancouver 2 times a week, every Thursday or Saturday, except on, that's until March 27, except on March 6. But good news for Vancouver travelers, effective March 28th, they're going to add one more flight. So it's going to be 3 weeks starting March 28th, Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. And then coming back, Vancouver to Manila 2 times a week, Friday or Sunday. That's until March 27. But March 28th, starting that, it's going to be 3 times a week, every Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. So that's for North America. So let's check some prices. Let's do Vancouver to Manila. And reminder, if you're somebody whose final destination is the province, let's say your final destination is Bohol, you can't book Vancouver, Manila, Bohol. You just book Vancouver to Manila, and then for your Manila to Bohol, you book that at least, I would say, 7 days after. So let's say you arrive in Manila on, let's say your flight is Vancouver to Manila on March 20. You book your Manila to Bohol flight for March 27. All right. So let's do Vancouver to Manila. Let's leave at March 4. It's 2 days from now. And then let's come back on April 6th. So we stay there for a month. Alrighty. Vancouver to Manila, we have on March 5 is 1,173.91 Canadian dollars. And then Manila to Vancouver on April 6 is 455.92. So let's say you stay in the Philippines for a month. So March March 5, you leave Vancouver, and then you come back on April 6th. The total would be 1,629.83 Canadian dollars. Right, so let's try one more time. Let's do Toronto. Let's do Toronto to Manila on March. Let's try March 17. Come back. Let's say you want to stay for a month and a half. All right, let's do Toronto to Manila. All right, let's do Toronto to Manila on March 7, on March 18. That's 600.56. This is Toronto to Manila, 600.56 Canadian dollars on March 18. And if you want to go back to Canada on April 30, that price would be 645.92. So if we take this flight, Toronto to Manila, Manila to Toronto, you stay in the Philippines for 1.5 month. You leave on March 18, you come back on April 30. The total price for Manila for Philippine Airlines would be 1,252.48 Canadian dollars. Now let's go to flights or from Australia and New Zealand. So flights for these um, areas or countries are just special flights. There are no regular flights for Australia and New Zealand. What I noticed is that Philippine Airlines, they just have 1 to 2 flights every month, and that's it. So these availability of these flights are really competitive. So book as fast as you can. It is a first come, first served basis. All right, let's go to Manila to Auckland, Auckland to Manila. That's on March 7. And take note that this flight will stop over in Brisbane. Next, we have Manila to Sydney on March 13 and March 27. Then we also have Sydney to Manila on March 14 and March 28. And take note that for flights coming from Sydney to Manila, there will be a stopover in Melbourne. We have Melbourne to Manila on March 14 and March 28. So to avail these flights, you will have to register through a link. And if you're coming from Australia and you're a permanent resident or an Australian citizen, you'll have to secure a travel exemption from the government. Without that, you will not be able to buy the tickets. PAL will ask for it. They will call you, please apply, send it to us, and then you will be able to buy the ticket. Without the travel exemption, you will not be able to buy the ticket. So I'm not sure if we can check because normally they don't show up on the website, but let's do check. I'm curious. Let's go check it. For those traveling to Australia, the quarantine will be 14 days in a hotel, 3,000 Australian dollars for one person. So let's do Manila to Sydney. Why am I doing Manila to Sydney? I should be doing Sydney to Manila. Let's do March 14. And come back March 27. Very strange dates. Why did this? Because these are the only flights they have. Proceed. Don't forget to like this video to support this channel. Alright, there are warnings. Let's see. See, they're not available on the website. You'd have to buy it through a link. So visit Philippine Airlines Facebook page for that. It doesn't show. These special flights don't show up on the website. Next up, we have flights to or going to and from Asia. Let's go to Manila to Singapore, Singapore to Manila, that's daily. Manila to Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur to Manila once a week, every Wednesday. Manila to Jakarta, once a week, every Sunday. Jakarta to Manila, every Monday. Then we have Manila to Bangkok, Bangkok to Manila, that's once a week, every Wednesday. Before we go there, let's check the prices. Let's do Singapore. So Singapore to Manila, let's say March 9 and then come back April 9. All right, so we have Singapore to Manila on March 10 for 244.20 Singaporean dollars. And then coming back to Singapore, Manila to Singapore on April 9 is 141.80 Singaporean dollars. So if you take this flight March 10 and then come back April 9, the total would be 386 Singaporean dollars. Sana all, so cheap. Next up we have Manila, Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, Saigon to Manila on March 10 and 24. Ooh, these are special flights. Manila to Seoul, Seoul to Manila Incheon is once a week every Wednesday. Manila to Tokyo Haneda, Tokyo Haneda to Manila, that's 3 times a week every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Manila to Tokyo, Tokyo Narita to Manila is 5 times a week. Okay, but starting March 15, it will be daily. Good news. Next up, we have Cebu to Tokyo Narita, Tokyo Narita to Cebu on March 20. So let's go check some prices for, let's do this. So let's go check some prices. Let's go Seoul to Manila. Let's see if let's try. Let's say you leave at March 11 and come back April 12. If you are flying to Middle East, don't worry, you'll get there. We will check as well. Right. So we have Seoul to Manila on March 10 is 228,000 Korean won. And then we have Manila to Seoul for on April 12 for 202,800 Korean won. All right. So if you take this flight, you leave Seoul on March 10 and then come back April 12. The total for that is 430,800 Korean won. And then we have Manila to Fukuoka, Fukuoka to Manila, that's 4 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Manila to Osaka, Kansai, Osaka, Kansai to Manila, 5 times a week until March 14, except on March 5. But starting March 15, good news is 2 more flights will be added. It will be daily. Then we have Manila to Nagoya, Nagoya to Manila 4 times a week until March 14, except on March 5. Good news, starting March 15, it will be 5 times a week. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we have Manila to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to Manila. That's 4 times a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, at Saturday. And then Manila to Taipei, Taipei to Manila. That's 3 times a week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So let's check. Manila, let's do Tokyo, Haneda to Manila. Let's say you leave at March 15 and then come back April 20. Alright, so this is Tokyo to Manila on March 15. That's 36,510 Japanese yen. And then this is economy value. And then we have Manila to Tokyo on April 20 is 26,010 Japanese yen. All right, so I've seen the patterns that traveling to the Philippines is more expensive than leaving the Philippines as fares are concerned. So if you take this flight, March 15, you leave Tokyo and then you come back to Tokyo on April 20, so you stay in the Philippines for 1 month and 5 days. The total would be Japanese yen, 62,520 Japanese yen. Next up, we have Middle East. Let's go to Middle East. Manila to Dubai, Dubai to Manila. That's 5 times a week every Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Manila to Daman, Daman to Manila, 5 times a week too, effective March 2. Then we have Manila to Riyadh, Riyadh to Manila. That's 5 times a week until March 6. Um, on effective March 8, it's still 5 times a week. What's the difference? They removed Friday and then replaced it with Wednesday. Then we have Manila to Doha, Doha to Manila. That's 3 times a week, every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's for the Middle East. So let's check some prices for Dubai. Dubai to Manila, March 11, and then come back April 11. All right, so Dubai to Manila on March 11 is 2,000. Oh, this is much cheaper. On March 12 is 1,670 AED. And then coming back to Dubai, Manila to Dubai on, let's do April 10, that's 1,015 AED. So total, if you want to go to the Philippines, stay there for a month, coming from Dubai. Let's say you leave on March 12, you come back to Dubai April 10. The total for Philippine Airlines flight is 2,685 AED. And lastly, this is the last one we will try. Let's do Daman. So let's do Daman to Riyadh. Oh, Daman to Riyadh to Manila. Let's leave at March 15, and then come back to Daman on April 15th, 1 month. All right, so Daman to Manila. So you leave Daman on March 15. The price would be 1,554.50 Saudi Arabian Riyal, and then to come back to Daman, we have Manila to Daman, 1,497.50 total. Let's see what's the total. So if you're in Daman and you want to have a vacation in the Philippines, let's say you stay there for a month, you leave at March 15 and then come back to Daman on April 15. That's the total would be 2,600 Saudi Arabian Riyal. But with charges, it will be 3,052 Saudi Arabian Riyal. So that is all for this video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video. That's the Philippine Airlines flight schedules. So the Philippine Airlines still have no Europe flights. Okay, the London route have not resumed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to follow the travel rules and updates in the Philippines. I will see you again with another video. Bye!